I've loved everything I've crocheted in 2023, but I've been feeling a bit guilty that I've been buying so much yarn from big box chain stores. Sure, it's a little cheaper, but the feel and look and options haven't been great. And that's not even to say the impact that it has on smaller yarn stores and studios. So since I wanted to crochet some gifts for friends and family this year, I made a pact to only use yarn from my stash or yarn I bought from an independent store. That way I can give back to the planet or to the community, depending on what works better. I also decided that, since I was already dealing with some issues with my wrist and elbow due to crocheting so much, I'd only crochet for my loved ones that I hadn't already crocheted for. So I made a list of things I thought my friends and family would like and was off to the yarn store. The first independent yarn store I went to was Needles and Hooks. I've been here before, and the customer service and selection are wonderful. Because the friend I was supposed to be staying with is sick, and tomorrow is Universal, where I'm going to be wearing my crocheted cardigan. I'm just mentioning that because it's a similar video to this one. Anyway, I thought I would just have a chill night watching YouTube, and then I started to get fidgety, so I think I'm going to use the yarn that I brought for the plane to start on my sister-in-law's gift. It is going to be a big chunky blanket that's supposed to look like a lime wedge, and I am doing a Jacob's ladder pattern, and I'm going to follow that, and just for the spokes on the wheel I'll use white, and then I'll do green around that, and then there's a darker green that I will buy when I get back home. This is all the yarn that I have with me here, but I'm hoping it lasts me. We'll see. But yeah, it should be really cute, so let's get started on that. My camera ran out of memory, don't know when that happened, but here is the lime wedge so far. I'm enjoying it so much more than I thought I was going to. I am so excited. I have figured out the color change. I have figured out the carrying the color through, so this is actually pretty easy. It's not making me hit my head against the wall, and there's not going to be a lot of weaving in, so I'm just carrying it through. Oh my god, it doesn't even look terrible in the back. That's the first time I've seen the back. I'm really excited. While I was in California, I wanted to buy some yarn for my next gift, and my friend's mom recommended Apricot Yarn and Supply, which we stopped at on the way to the airport.
So I am still in San Diego, but I am heading home soon, like right now, imminently. I'm waiting a couple hours for my plane. I have a migraine, so crocheting feels like a good thing to do in an airport and on a plane when I feel like this. So that's what I'm doing. I bought this beautiful blue yarn to make a hat for my friend's husband because I crocheted my friend a hat last year and never sent it to her. And this year I really want to crochet a hat for her soon-to-be newborn baby. I think the husband would feel left out, so making him one too.
Good afternoon. I am home from my trip. It is the day after I started the hat for my friend's husband, and it's done already. Beanies really do work up quickly when you know how to do a double crochet. It's pretty comfortable. It is pretty thin, which wouldn't be a problem. Like, I don't think it's a problem, except here's the hat that I made for my friend. So the wife of this hat's future owner. First of all, I think it is the same brand of yarn. It looks beautiful, and they're both double crochet. It's probably a very similar pattern, which is cool. I like that. Downside, this hat's very thick. This hat's very thin. And also, I didn't know how to weave in ends or anything like that. So there's a very obvious knot in the brim of the hat, which isn't comfortable. So should I just go buy, like, hopefully this weight of yarn, but in this nice green color for my friend? Maybe. We'll have to see. So 1 of 5, 6 gifts is done. The one hat. And I am still working on this blanket. I'm really glad I started it early, just because I do think it's gonna take a while. And I think it's starting to look like a lime wedge. No one agrees with me, but I think it. And we are almost done with the first skein of the green. Obviously the green proportionally, I need a lot more of that. And I was able to find the bag of the yarn that I bought before I went on my trip, which is good, because it wasn't cheap, because as we know, independent yarn stores, you're paying for the quality, and it's not like a big box chain that gets a bunch of sales. Anyway, on some level, I do think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't be doing this. Maybe one of the gifts, I would be like, well, this is really good wool, but it is so pricey. It's so expensive. That being said, the quality is amazing. So here are the two colors that I'm using for the unborn baby's beanie. I'm gonna do stripes between the two and I'll check the pattern. I don't know if they're equal or not. If they're unequal, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be using more blue. Blue is my favorite color, and also this is the same lime color that I use for the lime blanket, and I've been seeing a lot of it lately. This is Malabrigo yarn, and it's Rios yarn because I was told that since this is superwash merino wool, it's good for infants because, you know, you can just put it in the washer and let it air dry. A lot of the other like explicitly baby yarn was just not as interesting as this yarn color. Wow, this is the first time I'm seeing these side by side. I did use different patterns. It's just very funny to me how different the sizes are. This is the hat that I made for my friend's husband. This is the hat that I made for my friend. She specifically asked for a green hat. It looks a lot more teal now than it looked in the store, but that's fine. The idea is his hat's blue, her hat's green, and the baby is a combination of both of them, so they get a blue and green hat. Hey, it's nighttime now. I did finish it this afternoon, but I was on a birthday call with my friend, so I didn't have the chance to record for you. So I'm gonna show you the beanies now. To play Goldilocks a little bit, we have the daddy beanie, the mommy beanie, and the baby beanie. Good morning. I've been working on the lime blanket a lot. In fact, this is how big it is now. It's not big enough to be a blanket, I think. I'm a bit taller than my sister-in-law who I'm making this for. My thought is that if I have like my knees up and the center of the lime is on my knees, what I want is like my feet to be covered, and that would be ideal. I have just finished the third skein of this lime green, or I guess lettuce green according to the brand, and this is the last skein that I bought before my trip. I still have a full skein of white that I haven't even touched and this much of the first skein, so I don't think I'm going to need to buy more white. I might have leftover white at the end of it, which is good to know because there is a part of me that wants to make this into a pattern. Here's where we are now, and I think what I've realized is that even though I have a whole skein left, or you know, most of a skein left, and it's not really big enough to be like a full blanket that will like cover your feet or anything, just proportionally it's looking like a really weird lime at this point. I think it's too big. If I had made the white circle bigger, like maybe I could go bigger, but I think I need to stop at this point and put in the pith white layer, and then I'll go buy dark green yarn tomorrow for the peel. Earlier I was talking about releasing a pattern for this, and again, I'm loving it so much, I think I'm going to do that. But if I do that, I'll experiment a little bit more with like, oh, proportionally, like how big should the center be before you start the Jacob's ladder and all that jazz. So, what I am hunting for yarn for today is a chimera plushie. Cut to my planning from last night. My aunt asked for a chimera plushie, so I did some research. A chimera is mostly a lion with the head of a goat. The tail ends in a snake head. So this is the snout of the lion. I'm going to be honest, I was picturing this being the size of the head of the lion, so we're going big. This chimera is going to rule. Some real quick thoughts here. First of all, I showed the lion head to my husband, and he said that it's one of the best things I've ever crocheted and that it's super cute, and it just made me really happy, so I wanted to share that. Second of all, this yarn is the best acrylic yarn I've ever crocheted with. It is so soft, like I forget that it's acrylic and not like cotton or wool or something natural, because it just feels that good. What is the brand? Okay, it is Universal Yarn. I am running out of brown, that's gonna be a problem. And like, okay, look at this brown. Like, who says that brown yarn looks good? But it just really does. I've been using all the brown yarn to make the head for the goat because I really wanted to make sure that the heads were similar sizes. And after just holding this and holding this, I'm no longer confident. Good news, bad news. At its widest point, this lion head is 60 stitches, and at its widest point, this goat is 54 stitches. So like one increase of difference is not that much. But when I like put them side by side, I mean, it's obviously the lion is a lot taller, its muzzle is a lot bigger, so it looks quite different in size. But we're gonna add some more bulk with the goat muzzle is gonna protrude from here. It's gonna have horns, it's gonna have big floppy ears, and also just like a lion is bigger than a goat. When you see pictures of chimera, you see the size difference. So at this point, I think I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so I haven't made the horns or ears yet, but you look so cute. I had to introduce you to the chimera's second head. Now I'm just working on the lion body. That's the only thing that I'm still worried about at this point, is whether or not I can get both heads to look good on this body. Here's where we are at the end of tonight. I'm gonna call this good enough. And very cute, like, to be clear. They look adorable. She actually sits up all on her own, which is just amazing. I'm so excited. Next up, I will be doing the snake tail in this nice red. So snake body stops there because it's it's actually the tail of the chimera. So I'm going to attach it. And yes, the eyes came out kind of derpy. We're just gonna deal with it. It's a tail, it's adorable, I love it. Here's where the chimera plushie is at this point. And if I was going strictly by how they're portrayed, I would just do the mane and stop here. But because my aunt very specifically asked for a half dragon, half lion, I think it would be disingenuous to not include wings. And ironically, I'm going to be using a dragon wing pattern from this book that my aunt got me for Christmas last year. It all comes full circle. Hello, I am back. It turns out it's very hard to vlog when you're hosting 4 people and a dog at your house for Thanksgiving. Who would have known? Anyway, I have made some progress on my Christmas gifts for people. First of all, I finished the chimera's lion mane and attached the wings, and I think that's basically done. The second development is I did measure my dad. I measured his head, his feet, his height, his total height as a misdirect, because I'm making him a sweater, but I didn't want him to know it was a sweater. And I still haven't been able to go out and buy the yarn for that yet. Just, again, family chaos for the holidays. But I was able to get back to needles and hooks to get more yarn for the lion's mane. And while I was there, I don't know, there's one friend I have who I want to get a Christmas gift, and I've never crocheted anything for her. And it felt appropriate to maybe make her something too. I know I have so much to do, but like, what else am I gonna do with my time before I have the sweater yarn? You don't understand. I have not crocheted for 3 days, and it's driving me crazy. So anyway, I've started making her a terrier plushie because she really liked the lion part of the chimera. I mean, she liked the whole chimera, let's be honest. So I found a pattern. It's a certain type of terrier, is from the Becca Cooper books by Tamara Pierce. It's shaped kind of like a Scotty dog, and I figure in crochet no one can tell the difference. So I'm following a pattern for that. This is the nose of it. It might end up bigger than the frickin' lion. But I figure I can use like the technique I learned to make the lion's mane to make like the hanging part of the muzzle. So I did the thing. I increased all the way around when I was only supposed to increase half of the way around the face so that the bottom stays flat. Basically, I get to do some frogging. I love the nose. Nose is pretty perfect. I think the eyes are okay. You know, I was worried they were too derpy. Now I'm happy. Look how cute. Here's the state of things. Really? Oh, well, I was about to say, pros are that it's adorable. The cons are that the head is so heavy that it pulls it forward. First of all, here's what I managed with the back. It's not perfect, but it's fine. Second of all, I did lay all the fur for the nose, and this is what we have right now. I'm gonna be trimming it right now. I don't like it. I'm gonna take off the top. I'm gonna pull some of those out and see how it looks. I think that looks much better.
For the sweater, I wanted to check out what other yarn stores there were near Seattle, and next to one of my favorite tea shops is the Acorn Street Shop, a lovely little yarn store.
I bought all this yarn at the second indie yarn store. It is 75% acrylic, 25% wool. It's blue because it's my favorite color, and my dad also likes blue, so why not? It does do some color changes. It's all from the same dye lot, so that's all really good. I also bought some wool soak stuff to scent it, and I bought the yuzu flavor. I'm going to use that for this and the lime cross-section shawl thing because I think it would be amazing making that smell like citrus. So over Thanksgiving, I did get my dad's measurements, so I have that to refer to while I'm making the sweater. It has been one day of working on this sweater. I love the yarn that I got. The way that it fades and almost stripes is beautiful and I love it. It is a little bigger than I wanted it to be in the measurements. I'm currently worried that I'm not gonna have enough yarn to do sleeves basically because I kind of did the math. That would be 2.5 skeins for just the front panel. So then for the back, it's probably another 2.5 skeins. That's 5. I have 6 skeins. I have time. I have so much time. My priority for crocheting this week is this sweater. So I will just finish the front panel, see if my estimations for the yarn is correct. And if they are, then I might slip out, go back to the yarn store, see if they still have the same dye lot. This is how much left I have to crochet for the front. This is how much yarn I have. I don't know if I'm gonna finish with this skein or if I'm willing to start another skein. Had some to spare. Nice. Complicated Knot just released her first 7-day of crochet pattern, and it's a capybara. And I don't know if you know this, but my best friend Erin, who's been in a couple of my videos and is the one who filmed my sloth short, that was a big boost for my channel. His favorite animal is a capybara. The reason we found the place where we met the sloth is because they have capybaras that you can meet, and he wanted to meet a capybara. How do I not make this for him? It looks like I can perfectly use the yarn that I used from the terrier, which of course I bought too much of. Yeah, I have to do this. I have to, even while I'm still working on the sweater for my dad. It's fine, I can do it all. This is 1 skein of yarn into the back of the sweater. I did end up making it a little bit narrower just because I am worried that the front is a little too wide. I think this will help even it out. Good morning. So last night I finished the back and it looks fine. So I'm really glad that I decided to try this sweater on because the arm was looking a little small after I stitched it up, and it is too small. I can't even get the sweater all the way up my arm, and my dad has much bigger biceps than me. So I tried adding rows that did not match the sleeves. I tried it on again and it still doesn't fit right, and I think The problem is that I made the back shorter than the front and then attached the arm as if they were the same. And because of where the seam is and the way this is designed, I don't think that can work at all. So I don't think I can finish this sweater at all, which really sucks. The good news is it's been like 3 days because I finished this, or at least I got to this point really fast. And I really like this yarn, and I will eventually have the strength to unravel it and turn it into something else. But for right now, I don't want to spend the energy doing that. One thought is that instead of doing 4 panels, I can do essentially a variation on my hexagon cardigan that I've seen called a hexagon pullover. That one is also a lot easier to like add length to because that's like part of the design. I just wish this wasn't happening. I now have a couple of like small projects that I want to crochet for the people that I wasn't going to crochet anything for. I hope I can make it. I hope I can get it all done. I have video edited for a couple hours and am feeling like I want to crochet, so I think I'm going to start that capybara. Look at him, he's so cute. I'm so proud, I'm so happy. So one thing that I forgot to mention is that one of my best friends asked for a griffon plushie. Basically, we're both fans of Tamara Pierce, and in The Protector of the Small book, the main character Kel has not really a pet, but an animal companion that is a griffon for a little bit, and so I'm gonna make my friend a griffon. Originally my plan was to crochet a griffon out of this book again. I got the dragon wings out of this. I have crocheted other creatures from it, but the only griffons it has are a wingless griffon and the larger griffon, like the more complicated griffon that would go with like this dragon on the cover. It's an owl griffon. That's not the griffon that Kel has. I searched on YouTube and the first response was another complicated knots video. So I need 3 colors for that. Since I'm trying to reuse yarn here, I'm once again using this golden brown from the terrier, the like speckled brown from the goat part of the chimera, and for the details, the yellow of the lion of the chimera. We've got the head. The beak is a little pointier than complicated knots is, but given how bitey Kel's griffin is, I think it's appropriate. Hello, good night. It's nighttime. It's 12:30 a.m. because I got my flu shot today, and then I did a workout, and after my workout, I was so tired that I napped for 2 hours. So here we are. I made the rest of the griffin. I think it's super cute, and I'm super happy with it. Look at those wings. There's the tail. I think it's pretty perfect. Good morning. Bad morning. Very bad morning. I had a terrible sleep. No idea if I'm going to have the energy to drive to the yarn store before it closes in just a couple hours because I've been putting off this by doing other work. I said that everything that I crocheted for holiday gifts would be made from indie yarn or yarn I already had. Because if we're thinking about the ethics of yarn, there's buying new yarn and there's recycling existing yarn. So I'm going to be doing that because I didn't buy any new green, but I have a ton of green in my yarn stash from last year because notoriously I buy too much yarn for a single project. I have no sense of scale when it comes to how many skeins I need. I am going to be making a bunch of lily pad coasters for my sister's girlfriend because she really likes frogs, and that seems like a relatively simple way for me to indulge that. I wasn't originally going to crochet her anything, but now I'm basically crocheting something for everyone who's going to be at Christmas, except her and my sister. I'm working on it. So I've already started this one, so might as well use it, and then I also have a darker green, so might as well make 2 colors of coasters. That sounds fun. I don't know, it doesn't seem stable to me. As cute as the little lily pad is, I don't really trust it as a coaster, so let's make a cute little frog to sit on it and we'll call it done. I think I nailed it. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I very specifically didn't want to make crochet gifts for everyone. I saw a really cool idea for a crochet gift for my sister, so I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I was getting help while I was in the store, so I didn't get a chance to show you what I got. So I'll just do a little haul in the car. It's fine. I ended up going with these tweed. They're washable, and I got a couple different colors because they didn't have 7 of one color, but also I think doing multiple colors is gonna be fun. I also got this one. So these two look like this together. Then I got this other blue. Then I got the last one. Of this color. And so I'm thinking that this will be all the ribbing at the bottom and maybe lining the top, because I don't think the pattern that I saw has ribbing at the top, which is fine because ribbing is not my favorite thing to do.
The plan was to make a cardigan pullover, and I wanted to use a full hexagon instead of the granny square hexagon because I didn't want the holes, basically. But of course there's a reason that when you search solid hexagon pullover or whatever, there's a reason that you don't find anything, and it's because when you fold a solid hexagon in half to like create that L, it doesn't work because it doesn't want to do the fold because there's no holes like causing it to do the like nyeh.
We have the dark gray center and then the navy blue outside, and it is about 9 inches, which I think 8 was actually like the minimum. So very good there. That's good.
I pinned this together, and yeah, I think that looks really good.
I've gotten so much work on this done today. So these are the folded hexagons, both sides. I attached them together after doing the dark gray, the navy, and then the light blue. And now I am just extending the bottom because it needs to be longer to fit my dad.
I have come to a decision. I am going to crochet the like fingerless gloves that I made for my reindeer video, which you should check out over here. I'm going to make the same pattern basically for my mom for Christmas. And then I think that's everyone on my list, although I still have to check my journal. Anyway, the exciting thing is I'm going to unravel what was going to be my dad's sweater to make the gloves for my mom. So I'm going to do that now. I am finally ready to fill you in. Now, if you've been watching all my videos, you kind of already know what has happened at this point. I had to have my gallbladder removed. Obviously, this has put a damper on finishing Christmas gift crochet. Luckily for me, my parents live in a couple hours driving distance, so they stayed for 2 or 3 nights just to help take care of me. That's the good news. The bad news is that when I left the home, not knowing that I was not coming back for 48 hours, I'd left my dad's sweater, the Christmas gift that I'm giving to my dad, out because I had just finished weaving in the ends. Luckily, we do have a friend who has a key, and she was coming to pick up like our laptops and like stuff that we would need for staying in the hospital overnight. And I was like, hey, can you really quickly hide my dad's sweater? And she did. So my dad didn't see that, which is good. And my mom's, the very beginning of my mom's Christmas gift was hidden. Well, you know, it barely exists. So I'm gonna work on this for a little bit. This is the first day that my brain feels like it can handle this. Like doing anything, crocheting, talking to the camera. I think it's a week until Christmas, and I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. So I'm gonna try to crochet. So I am healing from my gallbladder surgery, and my brain has finally been working enough to do crocheting. So I finished these nice fingerless gloves for my mom. I ended up just using the same pattern that I used for my reindeer video because they're cute and cozy and I really like them. I think it really worked with the yarn from the failed sweater attempt. Yes, my favorite color is blue. How could you tell? Good evening. It is time to wrap everything.